So in the previous video on my Zhiyun Crane M2, I showed you how to mount your iPhone on the Zhiyun Crane M2. This video, I'm going to do a step-by-step tutorial on how to mount the Sony A6500, which is more or less the same size as the Sony A6400, the A6300, and the A6000. So this is a really nice compact camera suitable for the Crane M2, these kinds of size cameras. So let's get straight to the mounting. As compared to the DJI Ronin SC, there are not much items that you need to prepare. So straight out of the box, get your gimbal, attach the tripod to the bottom, open the legs up, and then get out your quick release plate and the screw. So basically just these two over here. Hope you can see that. First things first, remove the lens cap. Try to make it as bare as possible because this Zhiyun Crane M2 can only take payloads of up to 770 grams, but the lighter it is, the easier it will be to mount your camera. Remove the lens cap. If you want to throw on an ND filter, do so. Try not to put on a shotgun mic unless really necessary because that would hinder the movement, and this gimbal is really small. This is the back of the camera. This is the quick release plate. So in this direction, just follow the direction, put it at the bottom of your camera of your A6500, and then on the bigger side, the bigger hole, there's two sides to the quick release plate. This side, you gotta screw in your screw into the bigger side. Just ignore the smaller side. Again, the back of the camera, this direction, the quick release plate pointing to the right, put it at the bottom on the longer side of the hole, like that. Line it up in place. I don't know if you can see that. Line it up in place, and then screw your screw in. Make sure that it's flushed, like that. Make sure that it's flushed. You can tighten it a bit for now. You don't have to really tighten it all the way because you will need to adjust your camera when you mount it on your gimbal. So just put it slightly tight. Don't need to tighten it too much. Now on your gimbal, I think for easier reference, have the joystick facing yourself so that we are both in a common understanding. So the joystick facing yourself, behind the joystick is the red button. Just slide it to unlock it. Once that's loose, again with the joystick facing yourself, on the right hand side you will see a red screw. Loosen that red screw, loosen it, make sure that it's loose. Because it's locked into place, just lift up the handle and open it up like that in this direction. So with the joystick facing yourself, the roll axis should be facing you and it will open up in this direction. Open it up. At the bottom of your camera, you already mounted the quick adjustment plate. Slide it in. Okay, you need to loosen the screw at the bottom of the place where you're supposed to mount the quick adjustment plate. Okay, loosen the screw as much as possible, like that, so that you can slide in the quick adjustment plate. It is slightly difficult because you have very little room to play around with, but try your best. Slide it in all the way, almost touching your tilt axis. Try not to push it all the way in, just leave a minor gap, a really 1mm gap, so that it just doesn't rub against the side, just to be safe. So once you got that, leave the small gap there and just screw the bottom to tighten it. Okay, once that's tightened, it should look like that, so it won't slide off. Alright, so it's not yet balanced, that's why it's drooping down to the left. Okay, so with that in place, we're first going to do the balancing of the roll axis, which is the red one. So make sure that this red axis is loose and you can shift it left and right. So we want to get it balanced. So right now it's tilting too much to the left. So maybe you need to shift it to the left in order for it to balance. Shift it all the way until you see it properly balanced, like that. At least it's not drooping too much to the left or too much to the right. So somewhere along these lines, once that's good, tighten it just for the time being in case you need to make any more adjustments. Then one really cool thing that Zhiyun actually included is, I don't know if you can see that, but on the inside there is a marker where you can actually just push it. Once you've already mounted it, you can push it in and then you can tighten it so that you will remember next time you want to mount it again, you'll remember the positioning. So that's pretty cool that it included that. So tighten that just to mark your location for your A6500. And then so we got the roll axis balance. Now we're gonna do the tilt axis. So the tilt axis is over here, the front of the camera, the grip. Underneath that is the screw where you can actually loosen it so that you can make adjustments, because we want to make it sit like this, flat, pointing the sky. So we need to adjust, push it either forward or backwards. Again, the joystick is facing yourself. Push it either forward or backwards in order to try to get it to stay horizontal like that. So it doesn't have to be perfect. We will make adjustments later on. So as long as it can stay horizontal like that, just tighten it. Make sure that it's tight. So once you tighten it, you see that the balance comes off again. So you need to adjust that later on. Right now we're going to do the tilt axis again. So we got this settled, the top. Now we got to figure out how to make it stay flat in this position. You can see that it's tilting backwards. So for this, you actually need to just loosen the bottom screw or the quick adjustment plate, and then you can move the camera forward or backwards. Just move it until, don't loosen it all the way, just loosen it halfway so that you can shift the camera forward or backwards in order to make it balance. So if your camera is actually flushed against the tilt axis like mine, you won't be able to move the camera front and back freely. So if that happens, again, loosen the bottom screw on the quick adjustment plate and just slide it out a little. You leave a 1mm gap and then tighten it just to make sure that it's not flushed. Okay, so I got the 1mm gap. Now I can slowly push it forward or backwards. Alright, we got it. So around here, somewhere along those lines again. Once that's balanced, you can just tighten the screw again on the quick adjustment plate. Tighten that screw if it manages to balance properly. Not yet. Okay, so tighten it slowly, because once you tighten it, you can see that it falls backwards, so you might have to loosen it and readjust again. Still falls backwards, so you can shift it forward. Okay, so we got this. At this angle, it just falls a little to the right, so we need to readjust the pen axis again. So once you got that in place, tighten it. So for this setup, you actually need to do minor adjustments. So we need to go backward and forwards between the axes, but it should be pretty fast once you get a hang of it. So again, make some quick adjustments. Okay, so we got that both axes, the tilt and the roll axis settled. Just test this one more time. When it's up, it's tilting to the right. It will be frustrating at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad. So we got that straight up like that, and we got it forward like that. And now lastly is the pan axis, which is this axis at the bottom here. So for that one, we actually need to balance it at a 45 degrees. So again, the joystick facing yourself, point it upwards and then to the left 45 degrees. Again, I'll show you that from a different angle. So the joystick is here, point it upwards to see if it stands, 45 degrees. And if it tilts back, you need to adjust it. So loosen the screw at the bottom here, and you can actually move it in and out, forward and backwards. So again, pull it out a little more. Alright, so that's about it. 45 degree angle. Once it stays, just tighten it and voila, we're done. So next step, just to test it out if everything is okay one more time. All set. Then you got your A6500 mounted. So power on the device. Firstly, you'll be in PF mode. So PF mode is the normal mode. You can use the joystick to go up and down as well, just to test it out. Make sure that the motors are working well and that the camera and the quick adjustment plate clears the axis and doesn't hit the axis. Okay, so PF mode. Next we go, this is PF mode, and then we can switch to L mode, which is locked in place. As you can see, I'm moving the camera left to right, but it stays in place, but you still are able to use the joystick. Then we have the point of view mode. This is good if you're following someone. It reacts really nicely when you turn the camera, pan the gimbal and stuff. So in PF mode, I forgot to mention, PF mode, if you're following someone walking as well, you can tilt it forward and then walk. So that's easier for you to run and walk after someone. Then in order to get to the vertigo mode, so one thing which is included is the 360 barrel roll, which is the vertigo mode, but it's not really apparent how to do the vertigo mode. So what you got to do right now, you are we'll start from the beginning. We have PF, press it once, you go to L, and then POV. Then from POV, double tap, you will go to go. Once you're at go, this is for fast moving objects. Once you are at go, double tap that again, the mode button, and you will go into vertigo mode. So it wasn't really apparent how to get into vertigo mode, but this is how you do it, just to let you know. And then in vertigo mode, you can do your 360 barrel rolls and stuff. So this would be a good way to test out if your balancing is good. Doing the vertigo 360 barrel rolls is the best way to test your balancing, because if it doesn't rotate well, means your balancing is off. So we're going to test it out. So if this works without any problems, you can see there's a problem there right now, means that it's not properly balanced. It can't rotate, so we're gonna do some adjustments again. Okay, so normally if it's not perfectly balanced, like you saw the vertigo mode, the camera couldn't rotate properly. It's normally due to the pan axis, so you just need to adjust the pan axis backwards and forwards again until you get that really sweet spot. So once you get the error, turn off your gimbal first before you make adjustments to the pan axis. Normally it is the pan axis for me, so we're gonna test it out. I just made minor adjustments, just make really small adjustments, like 1mm adjustments, and it will work, because this is a real small gimbal, so every millimeter counts. So we got this, so like that, you can see. So loosen the pan axis, 1mm movement. You see that I just shifted it 1mm and it already made a difference some sort. So 45 degrees. So once you think that the 45-degree angle works for you, you can try out the vertigo mode again. Like I said, this is the best way to test if your gimbal is actually balanced properly or not. So again, go to PF. When you set it up, you go to PF mode, go to press the mode button once, twice, you go to POV. At POV, press double tap the mode button. When you're at go, double tap the mode button again. We'll go into vertigo, and if it is properly balanced, you should see it rotate properly. Alright, seems to be working. Let's go this direction, because it's harder to rotate in this direction. So there you have it. It works without any noise. That noise that you hear is actually from the, it's not from the motors, it's actually from this holders, the strap holders. So it's not from the motors, and you're all set to go. So that's how you mount your camera on your A6500. Last of all, just want to show you on a quick adjustment plate. This is the lens, so you can see that in order to make it stay like that, the screw is actually nearer to the top. There's more space at the bottom, so just a really small space, just to give you an estimate on which direction you should go, backwards or forwards. The screw is closer, further up the quick adjustment plate, nearer to the lens. So thanks guys for watching. Hope you found this video tutorial on how to mount the A6500 useful. Hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the alerts button, and I'll see you in the next setup. Peace.